got Devon's gonna test audio real quick. We've got Mike. It's obviously the most athletic freelancer.
We have
And we're good.
We're good. As long as
We're good.
Rustin says we're good.
We're all good in the hood.
That's all that matters.
Rusty's gonna give us a thumbs up to make sure everything's working correctly and all of our audio is correct. We'll wait for that. The confirmation all the way from Beardless JD. All right, here we go. I'm gonna play it.
The weekly episode of the Freelancer Codex podcast. Your host Steven and co-host Mike, Devon, and JD are all set. Join us and tweet your questions at Freelancer Codex. Find us on Facebook at Freelancer Codex or send emails to freelancercodex@gmail.com. Strap into your javelins and let's drop in.
Welcome, everybody, to episode 119 of the Freelancer Codex podcast, the longest running Anthem podcast on the internet. I just get really used to saying that because we will still talk about Anthem every now and then, but I don't think that's going to be the main focus of the show for a while, at least until 2.0 drops sometime in the near future. I was anticipating probably sometime towards the end of the year, but I'm guessing that has probably changed along with many other titles. So I'm your host, Steve, and I am here with, I think we have a full crew today. We've got Devon with us over there hanging out inside of the Xbox Series X. We have JD with us. I think that's JD. I don't know. Looks like a 14-year-old. I don't know who that is. And then we've got Mike, who's not on camera because he is drugged up on goofballs. So,
What's
guys,
up?
I'm actually excited. Normally we do our D&D show this week, but I thought it might be a good idea just to kind of come together and touch base with the community, see how people are doing with the coronavirus quarantine that is going on right now, and just kind of touch base and say, you know what we're doing to fight it, what we're doing to help for whatever we can, and how we're kind of coping with it, right? Because I think it's important to kind of check in with people. I do anyway. I don't know. Maybe I'm just
Yeah, might as well.
No,
Right? Check in with you.
yeah, that's good.
So how are you guys coping with the outbreak? JD, you're in California. You're kind of in a hotbed over there in our part of the country. So what's going on that side of the world?
I know that right now, in terms of Southern California, I'm in the county with the least number of cases, but it's picking up pretty quick. I know we just had, what was it, like 2 people die in the town that I used to live in, like just last week. It's crazy. But we're all doing pretty good here. Both my mom and my dad are high risk individuals, so I've been doing everything I can to make sure they stay safe, including shaving off my dear friend. But yeah, they recommend that if you have to wear a mask, to, like, you don't have facial hair, things like that, or you can only have like certain things. And I'm not a mustache guy, so yeah, we're doing okay here though. Kind of hard to find some of the medical supplies that we use on a regular basis for my dad, but we're managing everything else. How's everyone else doing?
Yeah, are you still teaching? Because I know you're a teacher. Are you still doing lesson plans over the internet for kiddos, or are you just kind of shut down until everything kind of passes?
We are training right now for switching over to distance learning, which from what I can tell, it's just a combination of digital tools and Google Classroom, which, I teach a tech class, so this is pretty straightforward and simple for me. But we're training for the next this week and next week, and then we're going to switch to distance learning. And then our governor Newsom, just made his announcement the other day, a couple days ago, that he wanted schools out until the end of the school year. And so we just got the call in our district last night and an email this morning confirming that we are going to be on distance learning for the rest of the school year. And yeah, no, this is totally wild and crazy time, and it's very interesting.
For sure. Mike, how are you guys coping with because both you and your wife work for the school district, so now you guys actually have to see each other now? That sounds like it could be dangerous.
So in our house, we do both work for our school system, and we've been out of school since our spring break, which was 2 weeks ago now. I believe this is we're
What? That
finishing
was like
our.
3 weeks ago, wasn't it?
Was it 3 weeks ago? Are we finishing our second
We're finishing
full
the
week out of
second
spring
full week
break?
of school. Yeah.
So that's kind of what happens. You kind of lose track of days, and everything kind of melds together. Our school district is attempting some type of distance learning. It's difficult. The situation that we're going through now is not one that anyone in our nation has ever experienced, I don't think. And so we're all kind of just trying to figure out what it all is. What does it look like? How does it work for kids? What works best for kids? What works best for teachers? What are the realistic expectations that we can put on teachers to help get this thing going? And so um, it's I don't get to see much of my wife while she's at home because she's being pulled into meetings and getting all that kind of stuff done. She's high up in our district's hierarchy, and so she's been on meetings with the state. She's been on meetings with the superintendent. She's pretty busy, and I get to manage the kiddos and make sure they're getting their assignments done, and the packets that were sent home with them, and the learning opportunities that their teachers have been providing for them. So it's kind of a new experience. I don't want to say fun experience yet because I'm not exactly sure how much fun it's been. It's been really stressful. A bit in our home, just trying to, what can we do? What are the things we can do while we're here? Can we go out? If we go out, what is it for? We stay in for a couple days on end and we're like, no, we got to get out of the house kind of stuff. So probably not anything unused to what everybody else is feeling and what everybody else is going through. Just a different thing now, and it's interesting, and I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone's staying safe. It's kind of funny how much we rely on content creators now because there's so many times you can watch The Vault on Disney Plus, so you can try to find that new stuff that's coming out, and it's good that there's a pretty good crop of YouTube content creators out there that can help pass your time, and it's just a different new experience, and hopefully we're all better before it. We're all better because of it at the end. So
Yeah, it's a lot easier to fall down that YouTube rabbit hole of just, oh, this led me to here, and now I'm watching restoration videos, and now I'm learning how to build an attic crawl space, and it can just kind of lead you to a bunch of different places because you have way more time on it now. Because what
Yeah,
else do you get? Like play cards? I don't know, sew socks. Devin, how are you managing? I mean, you're still at work.
Yeah, so I work. I've been going in the morning, and then for a couple hours at the office, and then I come home and I'm doing work. So I'm lucky to be able to work around my wife's schedule. My job allows me to do that, and so like yesterday, she worked from 8 in the morning until 4 in the afternoon or 5, and then so after that, I just did work out in the garage because it's pretty much impossible to do work at home with 3 kids when they're all trying to do schoolwork. So I help them do schoolwork, and that's a hassle for my kindergartner, of course. And yeah, so it's a good time. It's busy. It's making three meals a day for my family because my wife's working, and
you don't take advantage of the free meal service?
No, I do now for sure. We started this week. My kids actually enjoy it. It's really nice. It's a good break for me from not having to make them breakfast and lunch every day and dinner. So I'm only making dinner now, and the kids really enjoy the school lunch because we're lucky enough. Our school districts are handing out lunch for the kids every day for breakfast and lunch, and hopefully a lot of other places are doing that for kids. So it's really good. My wife, she's out there dealing with people because she works at a large department store that has a grocery department, and so they are still open. And unfortunately, people are stupid, and they go out there. They're still trying to buy clothes and regular stuff, and they're bored at their house, so they just go to the store. And so that's how things continue to spread because they can't be bothered to stay home. So.
I mean, it's like Mike said, this is something that is completely different that no one has ever experienced, and it's easy. Like, I don't know if it's just like we do not like being told we can't do something. I mean, because currently we're all seeing like what COVID is actually doing, like the death toll that keeps rising. I think there was like 900 people that passed away over the weekend in our country alone from COVID-19, and it's estimated that it's going to be up to like 250,000 deaths by the time the thing is over. And I don't know if it's just like, no, I've always been able to leave my house and go when I want, and now when someone's saying, hey, you probably shouldn't do that, there's just kind of like this weird pushback. They're like, no, it's a free country, I can do what I want, right? I don't know if that is part of it, because really it's the easiest thing that we can do to not spread it is to just stay home and watch Netflix, right? And attack the backlog of video games that we have.
For sure. Yeah, I mean, it's like we go outside, we spend a lot of time in the backyard. My kids are currently digging a swimming pool in our backyard. So they tell me anyways.
Or at least that's what you told them the hole is for.
No, that's what they're digging. They are destroying the backyard. I came out there and I was like, "What the crap is this?" So it's a pretty large hole. So just remember, you're gonna have to put all that dirt back, right? But yeah, no, like we'll go out. We try and still help the local restaurants. Order some stuff to go. Those kind of things. We're lucky. We kind of plan ahead for things, and so we have plenty of food and other things that we need. But at the same time, you can only make pancakes or chicken or whatever so many times your own way, and so it's nice to be able to go and get stuff to go and still help support the local businesses and because it's difficult when everybody loses their job, right? So
yeah, and we've been doing the same. Whenever we can, we're like, pick a day, like, hey, let's go, buy some pizza, let's go buy some Chinese food, like anything that you can do to help people continue to have jobs. Because like right now, like a lot of the places in our town, they don't have enough delivery drivers because so many people are ordering out, and a lot of people have lost jobs. And it's like, no matter, I've been lucky enough that I haven't, like I'm considered an essential personnel. It's the only time I'll ever be like essential in my life.
We are essential.
Right. So, I mean, it sucks everything that's happening, and you want to help more than, because if you want to help out, but also by going out and helping, it's also like you're doing damage because there's potential of you transferring the virus to someone else. So it's a tough balance to make. But like you said, Devon, like I hope this is also an eye-opener to a lot of people that, you should probably have like rainy day food storage.
Toilet paper.
Yeah.
I know people are like, we can't always afford, food or whatever else, but it's like, we've slowly built ours over many years, and it's just, my parents have always told us, like, buy an extra can of something, and start your food storage and do it that way. I mean, if you don't have a lot of money, that's okay. And I think this is definitely, our society, we've gotten a lot used to where we can just go out to the store and buy whatever we need. And so it's definitely an eye-opener for a lot of people. And people are freaking out about the toilet paper. I know from being in the inspection industry, we have kind of connections with paper mills and stuff, and they're all cranking out toilet paper and paper towels and everything else is 100% just cruising. So, but it's we're lucky that there's a lot of truckers and everybody else and people that are still out there working every day,
because really, like toilet paper isn't going to be the thing that we run out of, right? It's spiked in the supply chain, so the supply chain is backed up a little bit.
Yeah,
I mean, like you said, Devon, like the paper mills run here in the United States. It's not like we can't get more toilet paper.
Yeah,
it'll come back. Like, why people think that they needed that many rolls, I don't know. This is a perfect chance for like the United States of America to start adopting the bidet and stop being so uptight about spraying your butt with water to get yourself clean, right? Because every other country in the world is like, the bidet, it's the way to go. It's water, it cleans you.
Yep.
And it's perfect. Like, we need to adopt it. Like, we need to start installing bidets into every single house so that something like this doesn't happen again. Mike, your comment.
No.
Yes,
Mike's
like
afraid
have you
of water
ever
spraying in his butt
bidet.
crack. It's okay.
have you ever partook of the bidet experience?
Have you? Is the question.
Yes, I have for
Many
2 years of my
times.
life.
We've gone on to a tangent that I feel like we need to get off very quickly.
I disagree. I will be like I will champion bidet installation in the United States of America. I mean, it's like if you come across pudding on the sidewalk outside, is it easier to wipe it up
So
with?
when I was out shopping for stuff earlier this week, I remember seeing video games that I could play. So last month, the game Lego World was part of Game Pass on Xbox, and I checked it out. And me and the boys played it for a little bit, and it's super fun. And then this month, it left Game Pass, and so I had to buy it. And I had no problems buying it because it was so much fun to play. It's very much Minecraft meets Lego.
Uh-huh.
So, two things that we really like, and we just put them together and we played, and my boys love it. And they've built all kinds of cool stuff and cool collectibles and things. So that's one thing that we jumped in on. If you guys hadn't jumped in on it, you missed your chance because it's no longer on Game Pass, and now it's $30. So you're gonna have to go pick it up and give it a shot. Lego Worlds, rated E for everyone. I actually don't know if that's true. I made that up.
It's probably rated E for everyone if it's Lego Worlds, because a lot of times when we talk about Game Pass, the question is like, how are developers making money off of Game Pass, right? That's always something that comes up. So I always wonder like what the conversion rate is after a game leaves Game Pass. And like hopefully people are supporting them. Like I know Devon, even though Ori and Will of the Wisps is in Game Pass, you purchased the game also.
Yeah.
So you purchased through Game Pass, Mike purchased through Game Pass. So hopefully that's one way that, I mean, because I would hate to see that program leave if it's not making any money, because it's the best value for gamers right now, especially in times like this where you're like, man, what do you do?
You're home all the time, and there's so much Tiger King
You could
can
just
watch.
do an Activision and Sony and just be like,
Tiger
"Now we're gonna buy exclusive rights for this remastered campaign for a month." So f all of you guys that are home right now that could be playing this, you can wait a month. How's
Hey,
that
Devon,
for?
better much?
I'm just saying they're like the dumbest people that I know that I really don't know, but they are so anti-consumer. It chaps my butt. Tell you what.
Get a bidet. I hear that's good. And you know what? We've come full circle.
You should get
Oh my god.
the Day Series AS.
Pocket
Um,
bidet? They have was that a squirt gun? What are you talking about?
See
Pocket
what you
is quite good.
missed
Oh,
out.
so- We saw
Anyways,
the meme.
we
that was
do
like,
have, a document that we can follow. Instead of
Don't
I know we are
that
we are
ship
just
has
so
sailed.
far off.
That ship has sailed.
We have taken a wrong turn at Albuquerque.
Steven, what have you
and
been
just-
playing the last couple weeks?
Oh, so speaking of things that I've been playing the last couple of weeks, so the Control DLC, the Foundation dropped about 5 days ago, and I have dove in hard on that DLC because Control is, I mean, hands down my favorite game of last year. Like Control, I think is an amazing game. I do have some issues with that game though. But first of all, like a lot of times DLCs will drop in games and it doesn't have like a direct connection with the previous story. They almost make it like a separate episode that if you buy this episode, it's like a little added bonus, but it doesn't really tie into the games. I'm trying to think of other games that do that, where you actually buy story-based DLC, but it doesn't really continue the main story. I'm trying to think of, for some reason, I want to say
Borderlands DLC, like Borderlands DLC?
That's exactly what I was thinking about for some reason. I just couldn't place it because I haven't played a Gearbox game in a really long time for that reason. So they don't really continue the story, but Remedy has like picked up from where Jesse Faden dropped off as becoming the director and just throws her into this next new problem that she has to tackle. And it's very good storytelling. Like the game is super fun. You get a bunch of you get one new ability that you get to use. I probably spent another 8 hours in there, so it's not super long, but again, the DLC is only $15. It's only like $12 if you buy the DLC pass, because there's going to be another one that comes out sometime this year. I don't know if that's been delayed because of the issues that we're having, but the Foundation DLC is great. It has another awesome set piece level in there, very much like the ashtray level. I I think it's good. I don't know if it's as good as the Ashtray level, because the Ashtray level is just like kind of blew your mind when you went through it the first time. And it's got a couple new super hard areas that you have to go through that are an added on bonus, so you don't have to. It's not part of the story. Like the level difficulty spikes pretty big when you get to these challenges, but the game's great. Foundation adds on some really, really cool areas of the oldest house that you can go to. I mean, the oldest house is like it's a super cool place to explore. This adds even more to it. The ray tracing in the game is still phenomenal. It's amazing. The added stuff that NVIDIA is doing with their graphics card just keeps, like their DLSS 2.0 or whatever, makes the game look better, makes it run better. I'm probably going to have a video coming out later tonight that details some of the secrets that you can get in that game to earn an extra cosmetic. But yeah, the game is amazing. I encourage everyone to go get the Foundation. I encourage everyone to just go purchase everything that Remedy is making right now. But the couple things that I do like about the game specifically, and this took me a long time to figure out what it exactly is about this game that creeps me out so much, because it's not a horror game, but there are some segments of it that feel like it's a horror game. And I think the one thing that makes me, like, anytime you go into a room, you're kind of just cautious, because Remedy will trick you sometimes where you'll walk through this room, it's super quiet, and all of a sudden there's this loud noise and it's like, bah-bah! And it's just like text because you walked into a different room, right? And it says like the bathroom, right? And it just scares you. It's almost like a jump scare, but there's nothing there. It's just text. And on this time, they're doing something similar to where there's these crystals that grow in and out of an area that you go to. So you'll turn around a corner, you're like, hey, I just got out of combat. There's not going to be anything out here. And then this crystal like forms out of the wall super fast, like right at your face. And it does like this noise also. So that like makes me jump. But it's because the enemies, anywhere you go, still can destroy you very quickly if you're not ready. Like, I think a lot of times when we talk about Destiny and you're like, hey, why is this, I'm so powerful that these guys aren't a threat anymore. You can just walk past them. And it kind of, you always lower your guard. So you're just kind of like on easy mode when you're farming a game like that. But Control, you really can't farm, because at any point, if you're not paying attention, you can get swarmed by enemies and they can actually take you down. So I think I like that because it keeps me on my toes. It keeps me like at alert stage orange instead of alert stage green on a lot of games when you're set up to farm them. So that part I really like. One thing that I've noticed a lot this time, though, is their facial animations are procedurally generated. So they just, like, after playing Anthem and seeing like their cinematics on their facial animations, which are top notch. And not just saying that because Tal was on the show last week, but it just really stands out that like their expressions don't match up, their mouth movements don't match up, and like they never fully close their mouth. And it's just something that you notice all the time because there's a lot of close-up shots when characters are talking to each other. So I'll give the DLC a 9 out of 9 because it's awesome, and I hope people go out and play it.
9.
Yeah. And I'm really excited for more. I'm going to dive in. I still have a couple more things that I'm going to do, but I'll have a video coming out probably tomorrow that details some of the cool stuff that you can go get. So that is the main thing I've been playing. Devin, what have you been playing?
So I just finished Ori and the Will of the Wisps, and that was pretty good. It took me about a little under 19 hours. I got it 100% complete. Found all the secrets. What?
Finished that thing in 4 hours, sucker.
Well, that is an achievement.
No, I did. I finished 100% in 4 hours.
I doubt you've even finished it once. But
if you finished it in under 4 hours, does Ori take his suit off?
No, it's not that kind of game.
Oh.
But yeah, so I had a great time playing that. I did download the Control DLC, but I didn't want to start playing it before I was done with Ori. Epic Game Store really has a horrible UI, and it was really frustrating when I was like trying to find the DLC after you buy the season pass like you talked about. And it was really frustrating because it was already downloaded with the current update, but it didn't say that it was installed. It's like, oh, you own this. I'm like, that's great. I know I own this. I purchased it. So how do I download it? And it doesn't say that you've already downloaded it. And so that was really annoying, for about an hour and a half trying to figure that crap out. And But yeah, so other than that, Epic Game Store needs some work, and Remedy just signed a publishing deal with them for another game, and which I mean they're trying to do things a good way. I mean, Epic's trying to create an environment for developers, right? I mean, they are offering a 50-50 split once they get their return on investment from a game, and they get to keep all the IP and everything else. So, yeah, I mean, the only exclusive is it's keeping it from Steam, but people have to get over that.
Well, that's not even confirmed because they didn't even say that it might be exclusive. They still have options to go to Steam.
Yeah, I mean, I'm guessing, it's going to be on the Epic Game Store. I mean, they make it more incentivized to be on the Epic Game Store,
right?
Than not.
But if you were Epic, you would also want that other places because then you just make more money, right?
Yeah.
Because you're still gonna get that your 50% split.
Yeah.
Like if you're a game developer and you're like looking for producers or looking for what's the word, Devon? I'm losing the word. If you're looking for a publisher, this is like a no-brainer, right? They're going to cover 100% of development costs, marketing costs, localization. I mean, that's huge. Like how many smaller studios don't even have money for localization, so it's not ever put into different languages, or they don't have a marketing budget, right? I mean, that's. Like, I'm glad Epic is doing this kind of stuff because it's just going to push things more and more forward. And maybe we'll see if Valve is like what they do with Steam.
I mean, they still are the juggernaut. They despite what Epic is doing and everything else, the money they're throwing around, Steam still gets the monster share of all the games and everything else, and people still. Yeah. Put their games out. Developers still put their games out there. Even Microsoft, they're putting more games on Steam, and which I think is great. For the more people, the merrier, right? So, but yeah, I've been playing Ori and then Call of Duty Warzone. I'm having a great time with that. In my opinion, it's the best battle royale game on the market currently. So,
you're supposed to tell me more about Ori because normally, I mean, you beat the first Ori. But you don't normally play platformers like this, like Metroidvanias. No,
not too often. So, and I think so. My review, right? There was definitely technical issues. I had technical issues on the Xbox. I had technical issues on my NVIDIA Intel PC and also my full AMD PC. So the only one it crashed on was my Intel PC. So it fully crashed there. When I was completing the game, some of the boss fights chugged really bad. And so, I mean, it's not really optimized for frame rate right now anyways. And then on Xbox, I did have some frame rate issues. They do have a patch coming out this week, But those were few and far between. That's like maybe 4 or 5 experiences total in the 19 hours of play, right? Where I had issues. I think so, like the platforming and stuff, it was interesting, but there came a point when it was just like, okay, I got through like maybe 75 to 80% of the story, and then all of a sudden it was like I could do anything and go anywhere, no issues, no problems. The puzzles and stuff weren't as difficult anymore, and it was like it was progressing really good for the majority of the time playing it, but then it was just like it felt like it almost went to easy mode. Going through some of the stuff, whereas, the puzzles and different things early on were really tricky if you wanted to go through them, but once you unlock the abilities that help you get through puzzles, it kind of negates it. So it's much more interesting, I think, when you don't have all the abilities that you can get to try and do the puzzles because they are tricky and there's a lot of them that you can do before you get the more advanced abilities.
It just becomes too easy towards the end.
I think it just becomes too easy, and it just like all of a sudden it just goes just like really quick. Like the last little bit of the story it seemed like it went really fast compared to going through the other stuff, unlocking and opening areas. It was just like, okay, this is the ending, and then you're just done. And it's like, oh, okay. I mean, it was a good experience still. I mean, it was a good story. But I would give it, probably probably a 4 out of 5. It was good. Definitely, I don't want to ruin anything for anybody that's gonna play it. So it's definitely enjoyable. Definitely concludes the story that you're playing in Order in the Will of the Wisps, and yeah, it was a good experience, and it was fun to go through. They have some ridiculous achievements, like Mike mentioned, beating the game in 4 hours, which I could not care any less about trying to do, or even playing it on hard mode, or like getting through without dying once, getting through without touching any of there's like poisonous water or whatever in the beginning until you clean things up. And it's like, don't touch it at all. And so it's like, that's stuff where you'd have to go back through an entire playthrough again and not have any of those issues. So I'm just not, really interested in getting like every achievement for every game. It's like, yeah, I played through, I had a great time, I got the stuff that was there. And I don't really need to get anything. Yeah, I mean, my goal for this year for playing games is to try and actually complete more games than I, start. And so that's my biggest problem is I start a lot of games, but I never complete them because I like do the new thing. Oh, it's been out for a couple weeks. The new DLC or something else came out. And so I start playing this other game and then I'm like, oh, well, I'll go back to it, but I never do.
Right.
And so that again was why I didn't start the Control DLC, because it's like, well, if I start doing that, then I'm not going to go back to Ori, and then there'll be something else, and then there'll be something else, and
yeah, and that game will still be good if you come back to it even a little bit later. So that's something that we just kind of have to get over, right? The FOMO. But
I mean, I'm not like fear of missing out. It's just because I just don't get around to it, and I don't have the desire for going back and playing other games. It's it's kind of. I get sucked into, like, a lot of my friends are playing Call of Duty Warzone, and I only play, I think, 2 or 3 times a week, and I'll play for like an hour or two, and they play like every single day, and that's all they do for like 3 or 4 hours. And I'm just like, I'll be on, and they'll be like, oh, come play, and I'm like, no, not tonight. I'm playing something else, or I'm doing this. And I'm like, why? I'm like, yeah, I have a great time playing it, but I want to play other games, and I don't want to do the Destiny thing where it's like I can only play this one game, and I have to play that one game every night. And so, which Call of Duty Warzone isn't that. It's just really enjoyable and fun to play with your friends, and it's free. So, but
right, but it still creates those same feelings of, all right, I've got to jump on because this is what everyone else is doing, and that's what I want to do.
I think they've gotten used to it though over the last year, where I'm just like, no, I'm not playing that with you tonight.
Yeah. So JD, what have you been playing?
Not much. I just last week I beat Doom Eternal on PC, which was a lot of fun. I streamed it with my friend who's a really big metalhead. So he was watching me play it and got through the entire thing, and that was a absolute riot to play. Since I have some extra time, I've been playing through the remasters of the Yakuza series. I beat 3. I'm on 4. And I've heard 5 is really long, but it's a really good series, highly underrated. I think 0 and Kiwami 1 and 2 are on Xbox Game Pass now, or maybe it's just 0. I might have that wrong. If you get a chance, totally check them out, especially if you love anything about Japan. And then, what was it? I got my copy of Persona 5 Royal today. I'm probably going to start that either later tonight or tomorrow. And when I'm not doing any of that, I've been making my way through the critical path on Anthem on PC, because I got Anthem on PC and had to start fresh. And oh man, it's a good campaign, but it takes so like it's longer than I remember it being. I thought it was a shorter campaign, but no, it's about 15, 20 hours. Or
yeah, it's like 15 or 20 hours.
Yeah, I think it was 15.
Yeah, although it was a little depressing, because I know a lot of people were in this boat because of the situation, and I think it has a little something to do with why a lot of games are getting delayed. But my copy, I got the collector's edition. It came today, a couple days late, and I guess it's happening for a lot of people right now. And I guess like you see these like stories of like people getting like the games being delayed, and like it's all just a question of like I guess logistics of like getting everybody to have the game at the same time. Like I don't know. Did we want to segue into that topic now, or
like The Last of Us and the Iron Man stuff?
No, I was going to ask Mike a question first because Mike had mentioned Tiger King. Mike, are you watching that?
No, I just saw that it was the #1 trending on Netflix, and one of the people I talked to somebody who kind of explained what it was to me, and it seems like interesting. If it is what it is, I mean, it might be worth checking out. You might like it, Steve, because I think it's like murder mystery type thing without giving anything away. But
So I'm 6 episodes in, so I'm pretty close.
Of course, you are.
So so I don't know if it's really murder mystery, but it's like if you're watching a train wreck and then an airplane hits that train wreck, and then if there's a sinkhole forms underneath the airplane and the train at the same time, so you just can't really tear your eyes away from it. It's just it's like there are insane people in our country, like insane, and
who make lots and lots of money.
Well, I don't even know if they're making money, but they're either like eating tiger steaks for dinner, or they're feeding people to these tigers, or whatever. But these people are insane, and it's so hard to take your eyes off of them, because I'm sure that you guys have all heard of the song from Joe Exotic. He's like these people are insane. He's got these music videos out there, and now people are making covers of the music videos. And I think this thing probably hit at like the perfect time where tons of people are just inside and they're like, what the F is this? This is weird. This person's life is way more crazy than my life right now. So that's kind of a cathartic experience, right? Like you can watch these shows and be like, nah, man, we're good. Like, I know I've got my issues, but I am not that person, right?
I am not that guy.
So like it's weird. It's interesting. Like you could get through it pretty quick. It's not like super long or anything, but like the whole time you're like, are you kidding me? Like, are you serious? It's weird stuff. Like I see why people are like freaking out over it, because it's just weird. It's kind of like the making a murder. Was that the one about Stephen Dassey? Anyway, that one was pretty big at the time, and everyone was talking about that. Now everyone's talking about Tiger King. Like, yeah, go watch it. I mean, what else are you watching, Mike? And you're probably not watching anything else.
You should watch The West Wing. There's 7 seasons. Right? It's good.
You can watch that.
So Nicole and I watched The English Game. You guys check it out. It's on, I think it's Netflix. It's 6 episodes. It's not bad. It's a fun story. We went through and watched Jack Ryan again. We watched Rudy last night. Yeah, everybody should go see Rudy. Rudy's good.
Rudy's good. Rudy's hard to go wrong with Rudy.
And then let's see what else. That's Disney Plus. With the kids in the house, that's kind of all you do. So
check out Onward tomorrow. It comes out on Disney Plus.
Oh, Onward does?
Yeah.
Nice.
We're already planning on watching that. And then I have my kids watching all those stupid straight to video or straight to TV Disney movies, like Brink, or the one where they do motocross and stuff. And like, Disney hates dads. They hate dads so much. They make them the dumbest, most evil, most like inept, incompetent, like jerks you've ever seen. Like, none of them know their kids. None of them talk to their kids. None of them support their kids. And it's like, man, like, is this what really Disney really thinks of all of us? It's like the Homer Simpson problem, right? We're all just a bunch of idiots, and we don't know how to talk to our kids that want to do something other than be an electrician or whatever stupid storyline they come up with. Anyway, so not that I like feel very passionate about it at all. But yeah, so my wife and I watched Inception last night. Like, Inception has to be like one of the top movies ever, right? It's got to be like in the top 10.
I mean, maybe for you. I don't know.
I don't know about top 10.
I mean, it's definitely good, but
Horn.
I mean, that's part of
Horn. Like,
Well, so
like,
here's
I
the whole
don't
thing.
know. I mean,
That blasting horn is actually the song that they were playing in the real world, just slowed down slower and slower. So it's got that going for it. There's a lot of really cool technical stuff that's going into it, but maybe top 30.
No, it's
Maybe?
definitely top 10. Like Devon's top 10 is like all the Fast and Furious movies, so that's 1 through 9.
Whoa,
But
whoa,
this
whoa.
is what I want you guys
Number
to do.
one
This
is
is what
Top
I want
Gun.
you guys to do.
Okay, that has nothing to do with Fast and Furious.
So you guys
It is
think,
Fast and Furious. All right.
watch Inception again. But there is an internet theory going around that Dom, you know, we always thought that he had Mal's totem, the little top that would spin all the time, right? And everyone's like, "Oh, that's his totem. That's how we know
See,
he's in top. That's how
no,
we need."
I have to tell you though, this is like way old theory though. Like
Is it
everybody knows this. Oh yeah,
Everyone knows the ring theory.
yeah, that's his totem. Because in
The
his
wedding.
dreams, he's always married. So he's wearing the ring, which means he's married, which means he's dreaming, which means he's never out.
No, that means he is out because at the end he doesn't have the ring.
No, he's wearing the ring at the end.
Why are you
Go
guys
No,
on
he's not.
drugs? What are you talking about?
Go back and watch.
I just watched it last night.
I
The
understand.
ambiguous
yeah,
ending is
the
actually
thing-
explained in the script.
Everyone should go watch it again because it's awesome and it's one of the top 10 movies. Okay, real quick, I want to run down a couple of the news things that are happening because this is kind of important and I have questions for you guys. First of all, Godfall is going to be on the cover of PlayStation Magazine next month. That's exciting for those people that are into Godfall. I am. So we'll get to see a cover of that. Mario. Okay, this frustrates me because everyone's like super excited that Mario is going to turn 35. And that there's going to be a bunch of like remasters of Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy. Before I ask you guys and give you time to think about what your favorite Mario game is, like, do we really need more remasters or remakes of these games? I mean, why? Like, you don't remake the Mona Lisa, right? Mario 64 is like an amazing game, stands on its own. I don't think we need to remake it. We already did it with the 3DS. We had Super Mario 64, 3DS, or whatever it was called. Like, can't we just like, I don't know, like Super Mario RPG 2? I mean, that's something that we could do, but instead we're going to, like Super Mario Galaxy looks fine. Does it really need a remake? Does it need a remaster? You can just go play it. Like, bust out your Wii and play it because how's that going to translate over without the motion controls?
Right, it's easy money. They're gonna change it. You got motion controls. You got your crap in there. You know, stupid Switch crap. But anyways, no, I think easy money for Nintendo. People want to play it. You know, I would love. I'm really excited if it's actually true. I want to see what they're gonna do with Mario 64 and how it's gonna look. And, plus I want to get it so I can play with my kids and they can check it out and be like, hey, look at this cool game that I spent a lot of time on, had a lot of fun with, and it was a fun part of my, growing up. And
can't you just show them a YouTube video?
No, it's not the same. It doesn't look as good. It's like those graphics don't age well, It's like I want to play, see if I can have that same kind of experience again. And I think that's why we buy remasters. We want to see if we can relive that great memory that we have. Most of the time, we cannot. You go back and you're like,
like we never.
This game kind of sucks. I don't want to play it. So we're always hopeful, though, right? I mean, we want to see. Okay, is this game really gonna be as good as I hope it is? If I have to use Switch motion controls, then it's gonna suck. But that's just my opinion. I think it's easy money for Nintendo, and it's a way for them to put out content when they don't have any mainline content that they can put out this year. Like an actual new Mario or a new Zelda, those kind of things, or a new Metroid.
Well, Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 might still come out this year, right?
I doubt it.
I'm guessing it probably gets pushed. I'm guessing everything gets pushed to next year. But like I totally get the nostalgia. Like, hey, let's go back and play this. This was awesome, and I think that works really well for like the 16-bit SNES stuff because that stuff still looks good. Like that sprite animation, those graphics, like that still holds up. Yep. You can look at those and be like, yeah, this is cool. But like you said, like Mario's big old nose that he has, that's like 4 polygons, right? And that. I mean, that stuff isn't going to hold up. So, I mean, they can change it. But then again, it's like, okay, now we've moved on to more complex puzzles, more complex worlds. Now we're just going to have a pretty Mario running around this big, flat, open space. I mean, if you think of the castle, like the castle is really big. The opening just hub world, it's big, but there's like nothing in it, right?
Yeah.
So what are they? Let's just throw plants, throw Goombas. Like, I don't understand why we have to remake these games. Like, just leave them alone. Let us play them. Like, I mean, maybe you should just release them on your virtual console and let people play them, since we've all purchased these games like 167,000 times. And now it's going to be
They're
167,000.
just taking notes from Activision and Sony. All right. That's good. No, I don't know. I mean, it should be good. Hopefully, maybe.
So, question for Steve. Like, so are you saying that like just like the really like famous video games like shouldn't be remade, or is it?
Yeah, like Final Fantasy VII, like this thing, like, okay, Final Fantasy VII has been one of the most popular RPGs for the longest time, right? Like no doubt about it. It's probably one of the best games. It'll go down in infamy as one of the best RPGs ever, because you know what? Square or Enix or Squaresoft, I think they were Squaresoft still at the time, they finally moved over to PlayStation. They could do all the sounds that they wanted. They got away from the Nintendo. It's awesome, great. Sephiroth, you know, everyone loves Sephiroth because he's got a giant sword and super long hair. It's like I don't understand why we need to remake that, change it, just because, you know what, it's going to sell because everyone loves this game and it's just going to make money. Like, is it only going to be half of the game? Yeah, probably. Is it going to look super pretty? Yeah, it's going to look super pretty. I would rather them like just do something new, do something different. I mean, if you're going to spend that time, because the remake's been in production for what, like 7 years, 8 years or something stupid like that, and it keeps getting pushed back. Like, just make me an anime. Like, give me a Castlevania Netflix anime series of the game that I really want, and I'll just watch that instead of going back and being like, oh yeah, this did have some serious issues back in the day. You know, I just want them to make something different and stop playing on our nostalgia that for some reason we just can't get over. And it's like, oh, look, a new Zelda thing, buy it. Oh, a new Mario thing, buy it. And Nintendo gets a pass on all this stuff all the time anyway. Like, every Nintendo, I don't know. I should stop ranting because it seems like every Nintendo game just gets like, hey, it's Nintendo, an extra point on our rating scale just because you're Nintendo, and I have, 35 years of nostalgia and experience, behind me pushing this rating score up. Like, I love the Mario games, but you know what? I don't want them to touch Super Mario World. I don't want them to change anything about that game, because I don't think you need to change anything about that game. Like, if they were to remake Final Fantasy VI, I'm like I love that game, and I would freak out because it's like don't touch it. Like, what can you do to it to make it better than it already is? Give it better graphics? No. I mean, they tried that with the iOS, and that ended up looking terrible. It looked like garbage when they ported all those Final Fantasy games to iOS. Watered down sprites and bad sound cards. Like, no, that didn't work. Just leave it alone. Just give me something new. End rant. Story over. Sorry. I don't know if I even question.
I just have to ask, because like for me, like some of the remasters, especially some of the ones for like PlayStation or Nintendo, are like kind of how I get to experience things that I otherwise wasn't able to experience when it was a little bit more relevant. Like, tracking down a original PlayStation up until recently was, kind of hard to do, and you weren't able to, like, only some of them have like remasters up there. And I do think it is worth like noting the difference between like a remaster and a remake. But like for me, like, I never played Final Fantasy VII. I'm going to probably play the remake though, because like that's a game that I've always wanted to play. But because
that's not Final Fantasy VII though.
Well, the whole thing is that like for me, it's like I don't have that nostalgic attachment to it. I don't have that nostalgic attachment to it, and so when I bought like the remaster, like it was just like a Final Fantasy VII, but available on PS4, like just straight up Final Fantasy VII, not the remake, just Final Fantasy VII that you could play through. I bought it for like $20. I started playing it, and because I didn't have that nostalgic attachment, it was really hard for me to play through something with such, dated graphics and dated gameplay. And I'm sure this was like a masterpiece. There's a reason why so many people love it, but like it was just hard for me to do that, because like I feel like some remasters give you the opportunity, or people who missed the bus on that one, to potentially get in on it now. Maybe it's not exactly the same experience, but you are bringing more people into something good already. It makes it culturally relevant again. I feel like.
but it's never like, I don't know, like Final Fantasy VII has never not been culturally relevant. Like Final Fantasy VII has been there from the as soon as it released, it's like never left like gamers' minds, right? That's just the impact that it had. I don't know. I just wish Nintendo would like start putting out more games. I mean, we've got a drought of Nintendo that recently. It's like just put and these and first party Nintendo developers are probably not making these, right? This is probably being outsourced to someone else that does remasters, and they're going to do it. So it's not like this is impacting Nintendo first party anyway. And like Devon said, it's an easy way to print money because our nostalgia bug or bone or whatever just cannot not help ourselves to buy Nintendo products again and again and again. Because every time they come out with a virtual store, we're buying the same games over and over again. Even though we bought those games 7 times before, you have to buy it again. And that sucks. I think it's stupid, and I don't think we should support it. That's all.
Excellent.
Down with the man. Yeah. Sea of Thieves is coming to Steam. That's cool.
Yeah, that's going to be great. I'm excited for people to be able to play that on Steam. It's a lot of fun. I haven't played. I was really into it last year. I played it a lot and had a great time. And then I stopped playing for a while, and then, I just haven't really gotten back into it. They've done a lot of stuff. It's been out for 2 years, and they do continual updates every month. They're doing a lot of stuff for that game. So the more people that can play it, is awesome. So
I agree with you. Last of Us 2 got delayed, so that's getting pushed back, and they're not. They don't have a release date. I'm guessing, like you said, Devon, earlier in the Discord, that it's probably going to get pushed back till the time the PlayStation 5 gets launched.
What I'm seeing, and based on reports and stuff, like there was no big launch exclusives, first party exclusives coming out around the time the PlayStation 5 was coming out. So some people are like, oh, maybe they're just going to hold this back. I mean, I think that's kind of ridiculous based upon other information that the game is almost all the way done already, right? The reason Sony doesn't want to put it out is because they're not going to have those physical sales worldwide. And so they're basically just waiting. They're like, we're pro-consumer when it affects our wallet, and we don't want to, only put this out digitally because not everyone's going to be able to play it digitally. And which is whatever. That's Sony's. They can say whatever they want to say, and that's fine. But I think it's definitely when they're like, we have no idea when we're going to bring it out. And so to me, that seems more of a, okay, we're just going to hold this until the launch of the PlayStation 5, whenever that is, because we need that big, huge game to really kind of sway some motion, because it's not really going so good for them right now with the PlayStation 5, in my opinion. There's still lots of great stuff, lots of hype still for that console. Steven had talked about getting it. I'm going to get it probably next year, though, because I'll get the Series X when it comes out. But, I don't know. I mean, or maybe they're just like, oh, okay, we'll just drop it after Ghost of Tsushima or whatever, whenever that game comes out, which is supposed to be like June, right? June 26th or something. So,
yeah, so Last of Us will release on PlayStation 4, and have they said it's going to release on PlayStation 5 also, or will it go? Will it be on the PlayStation 5 through their backwards compatibility?
Yeah, that's a real. No, I'm sure it'll be on their back compatible list. There's a lot of confusing messaging going on. I mean, no one can go 2 generations without effing things up, and right. I mean, they're really screwing the pooch hard on their messaging across the board for everything with Sony right now. And so, I mean, they're pulling a Microsoft 2013. Yeah, Don Matrix. We've got a console for that. If you want to play,
if you want to play games, go buy our old console. And here's the NFL channel on the Xbox One.
Yeah, but I think it's interesting. I mean, I played the first one a little bit on my PS4, but I never really got into it. And just like the Uncharted series, I never really got into it. I really enjoyed. It was a launch game. I can't even remember it now.
Launch game PS4 would have been
Neon, where he's like skating around on stuff. Not Abilities, something
Radio.
Sun. I don't remember. Anyways, but it was a lot of fun.
That's for Xbox.
No, that's Xbox. It was something else. It was made by Sony Santa Monica, I think. But anyways, it was a lot of fun. I completed that game. It was enjoyable.
Shogun? No, that's not it.
It was one of their big launch games. But yeah, no,
Knack?
I mean,
Are you talking about Knack? And Knack?
No, I'm not talking about Nick.
Not Knack. Anyway.
But yeah, no, I mean, it's definitely interesting, holding the game back, because they're saying they want everybody to be able to experience it at the same time, and that's a great reason, I guess, for them to do that. But I think it also gives them time to polish it up more, work on the PlayStation 5 version of the game, so, which, I mean, it's been a really weird, it was going to be a weird year anyways, because it's like, okay, you got The Last of Us, and then you got Ghost, and then nothing. Until the PlayStation 5 comes out, and you don't have any, no announced first-party exclusives for that. I mean, there's exclusive games on there, but not big first-party tentpole titles, So that was going to be weird, right? So
very similar to Nintendo's lineup. I mean, they don't have anything slated for the rest of this year. I mean, they've got a lot of the indies that are coming to it because it seems like everything is starting to come to the Switch, and like props to all those people that are porting to the Switch to get everything to run on there. That's pretty awesome. Yeah. And
because they're like, it's okay. People don't care if the game looks like garbage. It's okay.
And people are okay with that.
Wrong.
So
we will compromise everywhere to get this on the Switch. But I mean, it's an interesting strategy. I'm really interested to see more about what they're going to do for the PlayStation 5. I'm definitely interested in what they have to show. I mean, they make great first-party titles. It's hard for me because I don't have time, for everything. And it's like I said, I have to basically budget or schedule my time between playing games with my friends or playing a single-player game or, doing those kind of things. And I don't know, it's difficult. So
that's true. It is difficult. And just like in all things must be decided. So I think that's probably the last of all of our bigs. I mean, we had a couple other things that we wanted to mention. So Phil Spencer did an interview with Ryan McCaffrey over from IGN. Ryan's really short. I don't know if many people have seen Ryan in person, but Ryan's super short. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I know a lot of short people in my life. And I am. So he went over there. He talked about the Xbox Series X, the no confirm on the price. So that's still all up in the air. So yeah, if you want to go listen to that, go to IGN. And listen
there's tons of articles just based off of that interview. Like everywhere you look at them, oh, Phil Spencer says this or this. It's like they're taking one little 10-second snippet of conversation and making a full article out of it, right? I mean, lots of great information in there. But
and Phil is actually really, really good to listen to. He's a very good speaker.
Yep.
So it's really easy to listen to. Like, you never get bored. It's not like you're listening to episode 119 of the Codex podcast. It bores you. It's Phil is actually just a really good speaker, and he's very knowledgeable, and he's been in the industry for a super long time, and he really wants to destroy Sony. So as much as Phil says that
he wants to destroy Sony, I mean, he did say once he saw the reveal, it made him happy, about the choices they made with the Xbox, which, it should. I mean, they chose correctly this time, and PlayStation did not. So,
I know Phil, like, he loves to play games, and he'll play Sony games, but he also wants to destroy them. So, I mean, it's
business.
That's what he wants.
Nothing personal. It's just business.
Yeah. Until he can get Spider-Man or Horizon Zero Dawn on the Xbox, he's going to try to destroy them. All right. So there's that interview. The Minecraft Dungeons, the beta was released. I had signed up for the beta a really long time ago, never got in, but that's going to be coming at the end of March. So I am super excited for Minecraft Dungeons. That's going to be a lot of fun. End of May. Someone put March on here.
That was my bad. Isn't a month that ends with him? Or starts with him.
March ended already. We're in April.
Yeah.
Yeah. What day is today? Gear Tactics.
What year is it?
Yeah, Gears Tactics, which looks a lot of fun. It's the gameplay looks fast and fun to do. So
they should just remake Final Fantasy Tactics. That's what they should do.
Is that even a game?
Yeah, it is a game. Final
Yeah.
Fantasy Tactics was an awesome game.
I've never played a
on
Final Fantasy
PlayStation.
game, so
I understand. That was a joke because I don't think we should remake anything. So, all right. So that is really the news. Unless Mike, JD, you guys have anything to add, we will end this episode of 119 of this podcast, and then we will sign up till the next time. So you guys good? I'm good.
I'm good.
we're good. Play games, have fun, stay inside, stay safe, and
There are so many games you
Keep
can be
on.
playing instead of going outside to a bar, right? Or going
Yeah.
outside.
I mean, it's
like-
okay to go outside in your backyard and get some sunshine, but I mean, don't go around other people. All right, even if they're your family, just stay away. All right.
Yeah. I mean, if you're like me, you don't even like to see most of your family. It makes it even easier. Now you have an excuse.
It's great.
Yeah. So here's our new outro. While Mike is working on a new outro for us. This is a video clip from the voice actor that plays Ati from Control. This is awesome. This is how we'll end all of our shows.
Are you an idiot? So who wants to be an idiot? So here we are. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Mm-hmm.
And there you go. That's it. So bye-bye.
Thanks for
All
watching.
right, I'll play.
everybody.
Thanks for listening. You can find us on Twitter at Freelancer Codex, on Facebook at Freelancer Codex, or through email at freelancercodex@gmail.com. Join the Discord through the link provided at freelancercodex.com. Our show will always be free, but if you'd like to send some support, you may do so at patreon.com/freelancercodex. Our individual Twitter handles are at Stephen Lamson, at mlamson25, at Neverfear, and at JD the Joke Dealer. Freelancers, it's time to get to work.